Jurassic Park is one of my favorite movie franchises, if you couldn't tell. The movies are quite a hit or miss. Sometimes you'll like them, sometimes you don't, but some Jurassic Park fans, such as myself, can like aspects of these movies while critique others. But I think we can all agree the first Jurassic Park movie is a classic that will forever be remembered for generations. What makes Jurassic Park so different is that instead of being an action dinosaur blockbuster like most of the other movies, Jurassic Park seems to explore the deeper themes and the characters are much more defined and well-rounded than in the other future movies. But the best part of the first Jurassic Park movie is talking about the theme of playing God. You see, John Hammond is an entertainer. He brings joys to others with his attractions, but he wanted to show people something that wasn't an illusion, something that people can see and be awe-inspired. Now, dinosaurs are an interesting concept. The fact that millions of years ago, these kinds of animals lived and breathed. They hunted, they explored, they were curious, they were violent. They seem like mythical animals like a dragon, but the difference is that they were real. They were once alive, but now they're all gone except for birds as their living descendants. There's something so special about prehistoric animals and how they've been on this planet long before us, that the earth is so old and there was so much more life in the past before we came along. It makes us feel very small and yet awe-inspired. Perhaps this is what John Hammond wanted to do. He wanted to show people a way to look into the past, to see a glimpse into what was this prehistoric world like, because he wanted to bring joy and entertain people. He's not a stereotypical evil businessman. At worst, he's misguided. He's a good man in his heart who only ever had a dream to bring people happiness, to show the world Jurassic Park. But as positive and well-meaning John had with his idea, he fails to realize that there's a lot of factors involved that make Jurassic Park very questionable. For starters, despite saying spare no expense, he constantly cuts corners with the construction, habitats, computer systems, and in general the whole park's budget, just so he can make something fast rather than make something safe. In fact, cutting corners is probably what led to Dennis Nedry being hired by Biosyn to commit corporate espionage and steal the embryos, since Hammond wasn't paying Nedry enough proper income. With all of this, Hammond created a park that wasn't safe and can easily go out in rainstorms, and the work environment can get you killed or get you underpaid. But perhaps things wouldn't have been so bad if it weren't for the fact that Hammond was trying to bring dinosaurs back to life. If he was building a regular zoo, at least he can manage things to be built to accommodate for the different behaviors, habitats, and conditions for the animals to live happily. But we're not talking about animals we can study and learn to better understand them. We're talking about dinosaurs that we have no idea how they lived, how they hunted, or even if we feed them the right kinds of food. There's no way to predict what these extinct animals will behave like, especially making enclosures that don't suit their needs, or even know how would we be able to build enclosures. Not to mention how the dinosaurs are brought back to life. Scientists discovered the ability to clone animals, and they discovered preserved DNA of dinosaurs. It's a neat discovery to bring back a dinosaur, but before they could even think about any consequences, Hammond pays them to make dinosaur clones for his theme park. They patent it, and now selling the dinosaurs for merchandising and franchise rights. The scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they did not stop to think if they should. This led to the dinosaurs being these unpredictable, aggressive theme park monsters, all because the scientists didn't know how an extinct species would react to living in a theme park. Instead of making a clone and studying it in a controlled and safe environment, they just put the clones in a theme park meant for the general public without any concern on how these dinosaurs will react. In the movie, the dinosaur genome had holes in it, and in order to fill those genes, they inserted the DNA of frogs and possible other animals to complete the genome. It's heartbreaking, and I hate to break it to many, but these aren't real dinosaurs. They are genetic hybrids that only superficially look like dinosaurs. Real dinosaurs are long gone, and these theme park monsters are only a bastardization, romanticized, corporate, greedy stereotype of dinosaurs that aren't true to what the animals have been long ago. Humanity plays God, and messes with things that they aren't meant to be messed with. Sure, it's fun to speculate and come up with theories on how things work, but that doesn't mean we were ever meant to make these theories a reality. Some things are meant to be kept out of humanity's reach. As Ian Malcolm said it best,
Genetic power is the most awesome force the planet's ever seen, but you wield it like a kid that found his dad's gun.
They created a disaster that ends up hurting and even killing people because of Hammond and the scientists irresponsibly handling and rushing their creations for the sake of entertainment. And while Hammond isn't a bad person, for he had good intentions and only wanted to make people happy, the way Jurassic Park was handled was anything but safe, morally right or ethically good. You can't cut corners with these types of things, and you can't just do whatever you want without at least thinking of the consequences beforehand. No precautions were taken, and it led to the events of the first movie. And I guess that's the theme of Jurassic Park, really. As cool as it sounds to bring back a dinosaur, the fact is we may never see prehistoric dinosaurs ever in our lifetimes. And what we do in an attempt to bring back a dinosaur can have disastrous consequences, and ethics and morals will be broken. We can create a genetic hybrid that ends up suffering like a pug. As sad as this sounds, the best way to admire real dinosaurs is to look to what the paleontologists have discovered, to look what the past once had. Reality is often disappointing, I know, but reality is all that we got sometimes. We have to make the most of it and choose the right path instead of the easy path. Jurassic Park is a fun dream, magical and awe-inspiring dream, but sometimes dreams get people killed. And so we have the responsibility to only keep it as a dream and not go down the rabbit hole any further.